Castaway follows the desperate adventures of Chuck Noland as after a devastating crash sees him marooned on a deserted island for 4 years. The film was intended to be an image of survivalism and fear, and Tom Hanks, who plays Chuck, himself endured something of a crisis while filming, after a small cut almost killed the Hollywood star. The famed actor turns 66 today, with a lengthy and successful career spanning iconic characters like Forrest Gump and most recently Tom Parker in the new Elvis film. In Castaway, Chuck's flight crashes over the Pacific Ocean and is left as the sole survivor on a deserted island, the film then following him over 4 years. For a large majority of the film, Hanks is entirely on his own, and for actors which generally work closely with their co-stars this was already set to be a trying endeavor for him. Castaway was filmed on one of the Mamanuca Islands in Fiji, and just before wrapping up production on the island Hanks cut his knee. He had to then film the scene where his character attempts to make fire, and in doing so, knelt down on the sand when some piece of organic matter entered the cut. The cut soon became infected, and by the time Hanks received medical treatment it had almost given him blood poisoning. What was then diagnosed as a staph infection was slowly eating its way through the actor's leg, with doctors warning he could have died from it. Hanks was then hospitalized for 3 days, explaining to BBC Radio 1 in 2009 that "it almost killed me." He had originally thought the infection was just a sore forming around the cut, but once hospitalized production of the film had to be shut down for 3 weeks for him to recover. Hanks said, "I got an infection from a cut and it was eating its way through my leg. I didn't know it, I just thought I had a sore. I went to the doctor who took one look and said, 'I have to put you in the hospital because we have to get this infection out of you before it poisons your blood and you die.'" In an interview with Graham Bensinger, Hanks recounted the mental impact the film had on him, noting at one point he began to hear the voice of his co-star Wilson the volleyball. He explained, "I heard his dialogue in my head. I did go crazy. I was never off camera for anything. I don't even recall hearing action or cut." The script, theme and ideology behind the film was very much a collaborative effort with ideas flying in from all angles. Don't miss, the perfect example of this is actually the volleyball Wilson, as it was ultimately named after Hanks' wife Rita Wilson. While it is a unique situation for actors to not have a co-star to share dialogue with, the role invoked even more skills from Hanks as he had to portray the feeling of being totally alone in the middle of nowhere whilst surrounded by film crew and production staff. As his character was stranded on the island for 4 years, Hanks also had to undergo some extreme physical changes to make it appear that such a vast amount of time had passed. Production was paused for almost a year in order to give Hanks enough time to become very hairy and very skinny, as he said on the Bill Simmons podcast. In the break between filming, Hanks lost over 50 pounds, and also managed to dislocate his shoulder whilst doing research for the character, causing a slight disruption to his physical training. Despite all of this, Castaway would go on to be a raging box office success, earning $429 million, £356 million worldwide, making it the third highest grossing film of the year. Hanks also received a Golden Globe for Best Actor for his efforts in the film, but he wasn't the only cast member to be awarded. Wilson the volleyball received the Best Inanimate Object award at the Critics' Choice Awards in 2001.